Rangers take on Steaua Bucharest in the Europa League, and there's already controversy brewing before the match. I've got plenty more updates on Rangers as well. In today's video, we'll be talking about Rangers chairman's famous last words to be tested with crucial doubleheader on the horizon. Rangers hero who forced a £600,000 exit this summer takes a veiled swipe at Philippe Clement. Ferguson worried about what he's hearing from the Rangers dressing room. Philippe Clement set for a double striker boost as Croc duo step up their return. Zach Lovelace set for a Philippe Clement call after new Rangers developments. Ryan Kent update emerges as Rangers fans clamor for an Auchenhowie training agreement. Make sure you've got notifications switched on so you don't miss the latest daily Rangers updates. Right then, let's get started. Steaua Bucharest are in a right state, mate. Their flight to Scotland's gone AWOL just before their Europa League clash with Rangers. A Romanian outlets reported that the champions were meant to take off at 9 in the morning. But thanks to some technical failure, their plane never showed. Brilliant, eh? The whole thing was already running 2 hours late, and now they're scrambling for a new charter to make it in time. You've got to feel for them a bit, but only a bit. This hiccup might just give Rangers a wee edge, especially after that 1-0 stumble against Kilmarnock at the weekend. Anything that rattles your opponent's headspace? A welcome bonus. And it's not just the travel chaos. Word is Steaua Bucharest are sending out a weakened team anyway, trying to save their best legs for their domestic league back in Romania. Makes you wonder if they've written this one off before even stepping foot on Scottish soil. Sorting a flight last minute isn't exactly a piece of cake, so let's hope this delay doesn't muck about with the match tomorrow night at Rangers. Kickoff's at 8 in the evening, and with less than 36 hours to go, the Romanians better get a move on. Alright, let me ask you this. If Steaua Bucharest rock up late and with half a team and we smash them, are you celebrating it just the same, or does it take the shine off the win? Get your thoughts in the comments. Do you prefer an easy victory, or does it feel better beating a side at full strength? John Gilligan's backing of Philippe Clement is about to get properly tested, isn't it? The Belgians had a mixed run so far, and now the pressure's cranked up with some massive games coming thick and fast. Losing 1-0 to Kilmarnock was bad enough. Left us 6 points off the pace and made second place look more realistic than top spot. That's hard to swallow, mate. Fans are already starting to grumble about Clement, some even muttering, "Sack the boss," after the Rugby Park debacle. And you know how it goes. The longer the results don't show up, the louder that chorus gets. If Clement can't get things right over the next few matches, he could be in serious trouble, especially with Gilligan's words hanging in the air like an awkward promise. Steaua Bucharest in the Europa League, St. Mirren at Rangers, then an away day at Pittodrie, where Aberdeen will fancy their chances against our ropey away form. If that's not enough pressure, we've got a cup semi-final against Motherwell just days later. Fail there, and it might be curtains. Do you reckon Gilligan's famous last words will come back to haunt him? Or does Clement deserve more time to turn things around? Let me know your thoughts in the comments. Todd Cantwell stirring the pot again. Who'd have guessed, eh? The lad's always had a flair for drama, on and off the pitch. After forcing his way out of Rangers with that bargain bin £600,000 move to Blackburn, it seems Todd couldn't resist a cheeky dig at Philippe Clement, saying things like complete clarity with his new manager. Aye, that's about as subtle as a flying elbow from Gattuso. The truth is, Cantwell was a bit of a headache, wasn't he? Started with some promise when he joined in January 2023, but soon became more about cryptic Instagram posts than assists. That early Europa League spat with Clement against Aris Limassol felt like the beginning of the end. Clement clearly didn't fancy babysitting someone who wouldn't follow orders. So now Cantwell's playing the number 10 at Blackburn, waxing lyrical about how life makes more sense there. Fair enough. Championship football probably is more his speed. But the question is, do you think Rangers were right to cut him loose, or should Clement have tried harder to keep him in line? Ferguson's not messing about, is he? Hearing Leon Balogun say the Rangers dressing room was very quiet after the defeat to Kilmarnock has properly rattled him. For Fergie, silence after a shocker like that is a massive red flag. In his day, if standards weren't met, you could bet someone was getting a dressing down. Probably from him. He even said he'd have turned the place upside down if he'd been in there. And you can see his point. A quiet dressing room after a loss? That sounds like a squad lacking fire, fight, and accountability. 3 things you need when you pull on that Rangers shirt. Ferguson doesn't think Philippe Clement should be shown the door just yet, though. He reckons the real problem runs deeper than the manager. It's a mentality issue within the squad, and changing the man in the dugout won't fix that. If there's no passion left in the dressing room, do you think Clement can actually turn things around? Or is this a sign that it's time to ship out some players and rebuild the squad from scratch? Philippe Clement might finally catch a break as Rangers prepare to welcome back 2 key strikers after struggling all season to find any consistency up front. Danilo and Zach Lovelace look set to return, and not a moment too soon, given the recent frustrations on and off the pitch. The Brazilian forward Danilo, signed from Feyenoord for £6 million, has spent most of the season on the treatment table, while Lovelace, the young prospect, has been working his way back after a hamstring injury derailed his Rangers debut last year. Cyril Desire, meanwhile, is struggling big time. 5 games without a goal, and fans are running out of patience with him. Clement has barely had any other options, relying on Hamza Igamani, who's still too raw, while other attacking options like Rabbi Matondo and Oscar Cortez have been sidelined with injuries. But with a packed fixture schedule coming up, having Danilo and Lovelace back could be a lifeline for the manager, as the pressure on his job continues to mount. Clement and his coaching team, including Alex Ray, attended the B team's 4-1 win over Stenhousemuir, and both Danilo and Lovelace featured prominently. Danilo got on the score sheet just before halftime, showing some much-needed sharpness, while Lovelace impressed playing off the left wing. Ioannis Hagi also found the net as both he and Danilo worked on their fitness, aiming to return to the first team. Clement even pulled Lovelace off at halftime to keep him fresh, suggesting the teenager is in his plans for the coming matches. It couldn't come at a better time. After a gut-wrenching 1-0 defeat at Kilmarnock that widened the gap at the top of the Premiership, Rangers fans are losing patience with the new-look squad, feeling increasingly disconnected from the players. Clement is under fire, and while the board might not sack him yet, given he just signed a 4-year deal, he knows he can't afford many more slip-ups. Next up are Steaua Bucharest in the Europa League and a tough domestic game against St. Mirren. After that, it's a tricky midweek trip to Pittodrie, where Aberdeen will smell blood, followed by a semi-final clash with Motherwell in the Premier Sports Cup. As for Lovelace, it's clear the kid has potential. Originally brought in as a central striker, he's been used mostly on the wings, where his pace and direct style could fill a much-needed gap on the left. With Matondo still recovering and Cortez not fully fit, there's a real chance Lovelace could stake a claim for more minutes. But that raises an important question. Should Clement roll the dice and trust Lovelace to lead the line? Or is it too risky to lean on an 18-year-old in such a pivotal period? After all, the youngster might just offer the spark the squad's been missing. This could be a defining moment for both Clement and Rangers this season. Ryan Kent back at Rangers? Now that would stir things up. The winger's abrupt exit from Fenerbahce has fans buzzing about the possibility of him returning to Rangers, with some even calling for him to train at Auchenhowie ahead of a potential January move. But there's a catch, or rather 2. First, Kent would need to take a hefty wage cut from what he earned in Turkey. And second, Saudi clubs are circling, ready to lure him with a fortune that Rangers simply can't match. Philippe Clement has already admitted he's a fan of Kent, having tried to sign him before during his time in Belgium. And with injury issues piling up, Oscar Cortez and Rabbi Matondo both crocked, it's no surprise Clement might see Kent as a cheap fix. But here's the problem. With Rangers losing 1-0 to Kilmarnock and fans growing increasingly restless, will Clement even still be in charge by January? The Belgian is skating on thin ice, and more poor results could mean someone else is calling the shots by the time the window opens. Kent's situation has a familiar ring to it too. It's not unlike Ioannis Hagi's saga earlier this season, where the Romanian was frozen out before a contract issue was ironed out, bringing him back into the fold. Kent's only played once since March, so a stint training at Rangers to regain fitness might suit both parties if he fancies a return. But let's be honest, would he really turn down Saudi millions just to rekindle his Ibrox love story? Recruitment at Rangers is under the microscope right now, with the squad looking well off the pace and the team languishing 6 points behind Celtic and Aberdeen. Sure, Kent's final season in Glasgow was a bit of a disaster, but when he was on form, he was a game-changer, something this squad has been crying out for. Would bringing Kent back be a smart move, or is it time to move on from old faces and find new solutions? Comment below what you think about the news. Don't forget to leave a like on the video to help me out. I post videos every day talking about our Rangers, so if you're not subscribed, you're missing out on the latest news. See you soon.